What's up, guys? I hope you're all doing well, and thank you so much for popping in to my review for Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1. This movie is available on Max now. You can watch it there. It's been on digital for a little while, and it came out in theaters a month or two ago, and I missed it in the theater. And once it hit digital, I said, I'm going to wait till it hits a streaming service, and I'll check it out then. This movie is one of the biggest failures of the year, and that's from a financial standpoint. Kevin Costner, from what I understand, funded the whole film. $100 million for part one and part two. They shot them back to back, and I'm pretty sure part two is completed. I mean, it was supposed to come out in August, but because of the lack of business that the first movie did, the second movie, the release got canceled. So I think it's still going to premiere at a festival. I'm not sure. I would be shocked if that got a theatrical release. Hopefully, they put that on streaming, like Max, throw it on Max. And I think people will watch it because what this movie is a collection of a couple different stories that span across a couple of years. And the thing that I liked about the film was the production design and the cinematography. This is a beautiful looking movie, and it shot so beautifully. I mean, some of the shots and the scope of the film is big, and I like that. I like the feel of it. But something that I think was a total misstep for this film is, this should have been a series. This should have been a Max original series. And this whole movie should have been the first season. And then the second movie should be the second season. And there's supposed to be four parts to this. So you could have a four-season series there. I mean, I just think that would have worked so much better because the film doesn't really work as a movie because narratively it's all over the place. I mean, like I said, there's a bunch of stories that the movie's telling, and the pacing of it all is not good. I was never bored, but like Jamie Campbell Bower is in the film, and he was probably my favorite character of the movie, and that storyline was my favorite of the film. And you see him in the first, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes of the movie, whatever. He's in the beginning of the movie. And then he disappears for probably over an hour. And that whole storyline just goes away for about an hour plus. And then he comes back, and then he's there for 10 more minutes, and whatever happens with that, I enjoyed. I like that aspect of it, but then that story just gets put on the back burner because they continue to cut back to some stories in the film that just don't work and that felt completely flat for me. Now, the Sienna Miller and Sam Worthington storyline, didn't care about it. Every time they went back to it, I mean, it was interesting to see. I mean, how all this kind of went down, but I didn't care. I wasn't emotionally invested at all. Kevin Costner doesn't come into the movie till an hour into the film, and he sort of gets involved in the Jamie Campbell Bower storyline. So I like that. I like Costner's involvement into the story. It takes forever for him to get into the movie, but once he shows up, I like the part he had to play. The character that he sort of gets entangled with, this woman who has sex for money. So the connection that those characters had, I thought was pretty interesting. And Jenna Malone also is part of this bigger story with the Jamie Campbell Bower character that I feel like if this movie was just that, I think this would be a pretty damn good film, and it would be extremely focused. I mean, the movie doesn't really have a focus. It's an American saga, so I guess that's not really the goal of it. But I just don't think it worked for what they were trying to do. It just didn't work. I wish that the movie really honed in on the Jenna Malone story, on the Jamie Campbell Bower story. Once Costner comes into it, I think if that was the movie and you really fleshed all that out, this would be a great movie, and I would love this film. But there's just other things that kind of hold the movie back. All these other side plots of the Sienna Miller, Sam Worthington, they're giving good performances, but I didn't care about their storylines. I mean, it was kind of tragic what happens in the opening of the film with her character, but overall, you just don't care because it's just so long and nothing really happens with these people. And also, there's a quirky couple, that you follow for a little bit, and there's a bit where she's cleaning herself outside, and two guys that are with them kind of see it. I don't know. It's just like stuff like that is just didn't need to be in the movie. Feels like there's a lot of filler in here. And the last like 5 minutes of the movie, maybe the last like 3 minutes, feels like a trailer for the second part. It's like, okay, this is how we're going to end this movie, because the movie doesn't really have an ending. It just kind of stops. And then you get like 3 minutes of a montage of things that are going to happen in the next movie. And you see some things like, okay, I want to know what's going to happen with that. I'm interested to see what's going to happen next, but I'm not fully invested into all the storylines. So I'm really interested in the one, though, with Kevin Costner, Jenna Malone, and all that stuff. I want to see what happens there. But the way it kind of wraps up in this film, the way we kind of leave the Kevin Costner story in this movie, it kind of leaves you on a sour note. And it's like, wow, I kind of wish we got a little more of that. But in the end of the day, I like the film. I like the tone of it. I like the feel of it. It's way too long. It should have been a series, and this should have been one season. But from what we got, and if I'm, giving a review for the film that we got, I just feel like that the focus isn't great. It's too long. There's side plots and storylines that could have been cut out, and it should have been a focused story on what I thought was the strongest storyline of the movie with the Jamie Campbell Bower stuff. So he's great. The performances are great. The movie has a great feel. I liked it. I didn't love it. I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. And is this rewatchable? I don't know. I feel like that I can pop this in and, watch it again. I do feel like this does have a bit of rewatchability to it, even though you might want to have your hand on the skip button because there's just certain sequences and storylines that I just didn't care about. But the stuff that worked and the story that worked really worked for me. So that's where I'm at with Horizon. Whenever the second one comes out, I'll watch it, and I might even get this on 4K Blu-ray. I didn't plan on doing that, but you want to know what? I liked the movie enough to where I'd love to see like special features on the Blu-ray, and just like hear Kevin Costner talk more about it, because I did like it enough. So that's my thoughts on the film, guys. Comment down below. Did you plan on seeing this movie? Did you see it already? What's your thoughts? Do you hope that you'll be able to see the second one eventually? I don't think they're ever going to get 4 parts of this. So however the second one ends, hopefully it's satisfying enough. I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll do a series for the third and fourth planned parts. I don't know. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for reviews coming in the future. I'm going to be seeing Kinds of Kindness, the Yorgos Lanthimos film that came out a few months ago that's finally hit digital, and it's going to be coming on Hulu. Going to be watching that. And also, we are 1 week away from my review for Beetlejuice. I can't wait to see this movie. I'm so excited. It's one of my most anticipated for the rest of the year, if not my most anticipated for the rest of the year. So don't forget to follow me on Twitter and or X at RyanKing72 and Instagram and TikTok at KingArises131. That's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching my review for Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1. And until next time, over and out.